everybody. This is Ankitha, Sushma, and this is Abhiram, Authipudi. We are graduate students pursuing our masters in energy engineering. Today, we are here to present our proposal on SolXtract, the power of coffee. Before jumping into the presentation, I would like to highlight the motivation for this particular project. The first one being our obligation as renewable energy practitioners. The second being Abhiram's passion towards this project since his childhood. And finally, our dream to become entrepreneurs is the driving force for this particular project. Let us jump into the problem. So, have you guys ever wondered how many coffee consumers are there in the United States and how many cups of coffee they consume? Let me tell you, there are about 100 million coffee consumers in the United States consuming about 3.1 cups of coffee every single day in the United States, on an average. So that's just 20%. That is, the extraction yield of the coffee is just 20%. And hence, the coffee consumers, the coffee manufacturers, and the individual coffee franchisees face a tremendous problem on how to get rid of the spent coffee grounds after brewing. So they end up spending a lot of money by paying a large amount of money to the waste management companies to help them save spent coffee grounds. So these waste management companies, they dump these spent coffee grounds into the landfills. Spent coffee grounds, being organic products, decompose to produce a methane gas, which is the major constituent towards global warming. It is estimated that 2.48 billion tons of spent coffee grounds are being dumped into the landfills in the United States alone every year.
Okay, so what's the opportunity that we're talking about? So, as mentioned earlier in the problem, the conventional disposal methods of spent coffee grounds after coffee is brewed, and also the expenditure coffee manufacturers and individual coffee franchisees incur to have coffee disposed from their facility. So, it could prove to be really fruitful if we know how to tackle that situation and what to take out of it. So, laboratory tests has shown that the spent coffee grounds actually contain 12 to 15% of oil by weight. So, 2.48 billion pounds of coffee, if used for oil extraction, could yield 317 million gallons of fuel. So, just to give an illustration, the American School Bus Council estimates that each bus on an average requires about 1,700 gallons of fuel. So 370 million gallons of fuel could essentially power 185,000 buses out of the total 480,000. So that's more than a third. So jumping into the competitor analysis, so we have various categories of competition. The first one being research universities and institutes. So for example, Lancaster University at the United Kingdom has been working on an alternative method of oil extraction from spent coffee grounds using methane and a catalyst instead of conventional hexane. Next, we have Starbucks, who runs a Grounds for Your Garden initiative, where spent coffee grounds are freely handed out to customers for them to use it in their gardens. Next, there is food and beverage giant Nestle, who is directly using spent coffee grounds into their furnaces to actually satisfy their heating needs. But as of 2017, there is no organization in the United States who's working on a commercial scale in converting spent coffee grounds into a useful resource. So, what is the solution SolXtract suggests? So, we recommend the adoption of a simple yet effective chemical process called as solvent oil extraction. In this process, spent coffee grounds are treated with hexane. Hexane absorbs the oil present in the spent coffee grounds, and oil is then separated from hexane using soft slit distillation. Now, what happens to the oil and what happens to the spent coffee grounds after oil is extracted? The oil can be used in the synthesis of biodiesel, and the spent coffee grounds can be processed into pellets and briquettes. So, studies have shown that the oil extracted from spent coffee grounds is a good additive towards biodiesel, and the calorific value of the pellets that we get from spent coffee grounds have a higher calorific value than wood, thus proving it to be a good replacement. Okay, jumping into the vision and strategy of SolXtract. So, the synthesis of oil into biodiesel and the production of pellets would form the first stage of revenue generation for the company. The second stage where we would like to venture into is the cosmetology and the nutraceutical market. So laboratory research has shown that coffee has the following properties. So it has high amounts of antioxidants, vitamin E, sterols, and fatty acids, which help reduce oxidative stress and also faster aging of the skin and other skin-related issues. It has an invigorating fragrance that are being used to treat problems like anxiety and depression and other factors as well. It also helps in increasing the blood flow and helps faster recovery of muscles. And finally, research is being conducted to check if the oil extracted from coffee can help reduce the risk of cancer, given it has high quantities of linoleic and oleic acids. So we at present are concentrating only on the first stage of revenue generation, for the only reason that we need to start getting revenue flowing into the business so that we can invest some amount of that into research and development towards the cosmetology and nutraceutical market. And for the resources, as to how we plan to use the money being allotted from difference maker is as follows. Rent prototyping lab space and desk space at UMass Global Innovation Hub, then procure some laboratory equipment for preparing prototypes, send it out for oil testing, and finally, to put the idea into practical use, start a business with it. Thank you so much. I would like to end my presentation by saying, let's not just get powered by coffee, let's power the world too. Thank you so much. So the pellets that we get has a good calorific, has a higher calorific value than wood. So any place that you can think of where wood can be used, the pellets also come into the picture. Just to give you an example, you can barbecue with this, or you can heat your house with using this.
What's required for you to commercialize this?
So to commercialize this, this is going to be on a large scale. So definitely, I need to have a proof of concept or a laboratory scale setup where I can actually have some prototypes with which I can go stand in front of other investors asking for money. But the other thing is, I have seen this particular concept work. Because it is being implemented right now by my grandfather in India. So it is, I have been seeing that since I was a little boy. And when I came here, I was shocked seeing how much of coffee, you people consume. So it's too much. So I thought, okay, it might not be so profitable in India, but I can make millions here. That was the idea. Yeah, that's actually a very, that's the most challenging part in the whole project. So there are two areas where you can actually get the spent coffee grounds. The first one being, major coffee manufacturers like a manufacturing facility of either Dunkin' or Starbucks, where they end up with tons and tons of spent coffee grounds, on an hourly basis. So procuring waste materials from that particular location is not a big challenge because you can send out how many of a big trucks you want, ask them to collect it. The next part would be to try to collect the spent coffee grounds from individual coffee locations. So our idea for that is to have a small truck, give it a pre-dictated path, ask it to go around the city, stopping at each location, and try to collect spent coffee grounds from that particular franchisee. So before it collects the spent coffee grounds, we would issue biodegradable bags for the individual outlets, where we would advise them to just, dump the spent coffee grounds and not mix it with the other waste. So it would be easy for us to collect it and easy for us to sort it as well. So next the question comes, why would they actually be willing to do it? So the good thing is these companies pay thousands of dollars to waste management companies for them to clear the waste. So my pitch would be, if he does that service for $10, I'm ready to do it for $7. So it is profitable for him. And also with whatever products I market, I would also be trying to, highlight them as being our green partners. So it is actually a good initiative for them. And it's also like a feel-good concept where they feel, yes, I'm trying to actually contribute something to the world, trying to make it a better place.
They'd be able to filter in coffee?
Yeah.
Or would they have to separate it?
Yeah, they can throw it with the filter, but before the spent coffee grounds gets loaded onto the machine, there is actually a separator that is present with the the entire equipment where it actually filters it out.
And this exists already?
Yes.